XFM News. On point.
News on XFM. I'm Chris or Tim. The Democratic Party presidential candidate Norbert Mao has asked people of northern Uganda to massively vote for him and send a clear message to the central government to work on their pertinent issues. During the mini rallies in Nyoya district last evening, Mao said the only way their voices will be heard is by voting the opposition into top elective positions. Mao calls upon Ugandans to vote for him because he has a connection with all regions and generations.
I'm qualified to be the bridge between the Museveni generation and the generation that comes after me. That is the generation born in the 40s and 50s who are in charge. I'm from the generation born in the 60s and 70s. I can be the bridge that connects the next generation born in the 80s and 90s. I can be the glue, not only for northern Uganda, but for the whole of Uganda. Like I've said before, my father is from here in the north. My mother is from the west. I grew up in the east, went to school in the central. I'm still Uganda made simple.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has warned the public against violence which may compromise stability in the country. Museveni says people should not take for granted the peace they have enjoyed for the last 35 years. He said this referring to last week's riots, which were sparked off by the arrest of the NUP presidential flag bearer Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also referred to as Bobby Wine, and said nobody has the capacity to destabilize the country.
I was in Karamoja, people were ringing me, oh, the problem in Kampala. I said, what is the problem? They are attacking people with NRM shirts. I said, if anybody is attacking people with the yellow, soon he will lose appetite for attacking yellow. I said that those who have been playing around, a time will come when you even leave the shirt of yellow on the road, you will not touch it, you will fear to touch it. Nobody can disturb Uganda. Therefore, because of the two, political unity and stability, and this peace is not something to play around with. One of the children wrote and said, peace is like fresh, is like oxygen. When you are breathing normally, you think air is of no value. It is when you lack oxygen that you discover that, oh, I wish I had known the importance of oxygen. And by that time, it's too late. So,
Museveni said this while campaigning in Kumi district and asked the electorate to vote for the NRM because the opposition has no developmental ideas.
I hear people talking of Amuriat, that he's son of the soil and all that. This is the politics we abandoned long ago. It is not biology we are talking about here. We are talking about ideology. What does so and so say? What does he do? And Captain Mukura did well because he showed the historical mistakes of the opposition groups here. All of them, not just Amuriat, the Araso, all these people, the opposition, Besige, Purkor, our secretariat can check in the Hansard and find out what Alaso said in Parliament about that debate. I remember very well she was against us disarming that we should call the UN or something like that. Some crazy idea. So when you look at the track record of those groups, they are not the type who can manage this historical mission like the NRM has done it.
Ugandans have been advised to embrace the saving culture to improve on their livelihood through investments. The message has been passed on to Ugandans by a finance specialist, Rogers Kaketo, during a financial seminar organized by Ugaford Microfinance here in Kampala to sensitize the public on a saving culture. Kaketo says that it's high time people saved money for future investments instead of waiting for government projects.
If you do not save, even those are developed economies that we admire, their key success factor is in saving. Those people save. And so when you save, you're able to accumulate wealth. When you accumulate wealth, you're able to invest wisely in productive sectors. So when you invest in a productive sector, there is a multiplier effect. If I have saved and built a hotel, it means I am going to employ a certain number of people. Now my employees are going to be able to pay their tenants wherever they stay.
Now in world news, the world's poorest and most vulnerable must not be trampled in the stampede For COVID-19 vaccines, the head of the World Health Organization has warned. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said successful vaccines must be distributed equitably and that $4.3 billion was needed to help fund a sharing scheme. He said the question was not whether the world can afford to share, it's whether it can afford not to. For vaccines, I've now reported good results from late-stage trials, the latest to prove highly effective at stopping people developing COVID-19 symptoms, developed by Oxford University, and AstraZeneca, is much cheaper to produce than two others recently announced and could have a bigger impact worldwide. In sports, Theo Walcott said he feels like a kid again after scoring his first goal since rejoining Southampton in their Premier League draw at Wolverhampton Wanderers in a game that ended in a 1-1 draw. 31-year-old Walcott returned to Saints on a season-long loan from Everton in October after leaving the club for Arsenal as a 16-year-old in 2006. Elsewhere in the Premier League yesterday, Burnley did edge Crystal Palace by 1-0. And that's the latest XFM News.
XFM News on point.